Welcome back to the Fact Tech. Today I'll be going over everything that happened during week 2. So sit back, relax, grab some scoop snacks, and enjoy the show. So how this works is for each topic, I wrote down 3 things. So to start off with, the NFL. Hall of Famer Brett Favre was at the Buccaneers game, which I thought was cool and a lot. But who didn't think it was cool was one of the offensive linemen. I'm pretty sure for the Bucks. Thought it was messed up that Brett Favre was allowed there, but not his family. But in my opinion, Brett Favre's a Hall of Famer. So football wise, he deserves to be there more than that player's family. So yeah, neck. And then for the final thing is so far $1.75 million have been uh taken from coaches in violations for not wearing a mask, which in my opinion that's dumb because they get tested as much as the football players are around the football players all the time. But that's just how the NFL works. So that's the coaches got one last week. I don't know why they still do it now, but who knows. The next is let's go to the NFC. The NFC West, in my opinion, is the toughest division in football because you got the 2-0 Cardinals who are really good offensive wise. I don't know how much about the defense. I don't watch them that much. Then the Seahawks are really good. Their offense firing all cylinders. They're kind of banged up on the defensive side. The defensive line is atrocious, in my opinion, one of the worst in the league. And then next is the Rams. They look like they're back to their Super Bowl form, and Aaron Donald has been crushing it. Jared Goff also has been doing really good. And then the NFC division leaders through week 2, going on to week 3, is the Packers lead the NFC North. The Cardinals lead the NFC West. The Saints lead the NFC South, and then the Redskins lead the NFC East. So, and then also, in my opinion, the NFC East is the worst division of football because you got the Giants, who are 0-2, and they don't have Saquon anymore, so they're even worse now. You got the Redskins, who are 1-2. Oh no, 1-1, not 1-2, and they're not that good, but they're leading the division somehow because they beat the Eagles, obviously. And then you got the Cowboys, who are 1-1, barely beat the Falcons. They could easily be 0-2. And then you also got the Eagles, who are just don't know what happened to them. They just haven't been the same since the Super Bowl. But so let's go to the NFC North, where LaFleur is 8-0 in the division since he started as the head coach, which is insane. Lions are the first team to ever lose 4 straight games with a double-digit lead. Sucks to be a Lions fan. I don't feel that bad for him because, well, Packer fan here, and Ndamukong Suh, really hate him. Left a bad taste in my mouth. And then the Bears are 2-0 surprisingly. They I just don't know how they're 2-0. They could easily be 0-2, 1-1, but they're 2-0, which is really dope. And then let's go to the NFC North. No, we just went there. Let's go to the Packers, where Devonta Adams got a hamstring injury, but they said that it's not even that bad, so you probably will play next game. They just LaFleur had him sit out just precautionary reasons because they're up by so much. Adams wanted to go back in, but LaFleur didn't let him. So the next is the Packers have the number 1 scoring offense in the league right now with 85 points combined in the last 2 games. Also, this game, Aaron Jones goes off with 22 touches, 236 yards, 3 total touchdowns, which career high. And I don't know if in the just stats wise, that's career high. And next is the Vikings. Kirk Cousins, in my opinion, is overrated. He proved it again. He had a 42.3 completion percentage, 113 yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a 15.9 pass rating. Atrocious. Anthony Barr is out with a shoulder injury, so he's gone for the season. Do I feel bad? No, because I'm pretty sure he's the one that broke Aaron Rodgers' collarbone, so karma's a female dog. And also another thing that led to them losing is poor coaching. They had 6 penalties and a lot of missed tackles. So the Vikings, they're just in a downward spiral. The Bears start off cold this last game. Start off hot, not cold. They're up 17-0 in the first half, and then in the second half, they scored nothing. So the Giants went on a 13-0 run, and only because Saquon got hurt is the only reason why they came back. Why they didn't come back, I mean. So, cause he got hurt, I think, in the second quarter. But also, Khalil Mack is back, which is good for the Bears. He got a ton of pressure last game. Also, he had 1 sack and 1 fumble recovery. And then next is they barely beat the Giants. I already did that, even though Saquon was out and Sterling Sharp was out he hurt his toe. That should be worrisome if I was a Bears fan. And then next is the Lions. Record since changing their head coach. Matt Patricia's 9-23-1 as the Lions head coach. The tie was when the Cardinals almost came back and beat him last season, but they tied in overtime. Just put how many wins he has in perspective. The coach that they fired, I think it was Jim Caldwell, I think his name was. He was 9-7 the year that he got fired. So he had the same amount of wins that Matt Patricia's had in total. So that's whack. Matt Patricia's seat is probably as hot right now as the Packers offense. So that I'd be worried if I was Matt Patricia. Patricia? I don't even know. QB Matthew Stafford looks like he threw it back to his 2012 season. He had a 58.7 completion percentage, 541 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, which is 83.2 rating. That's what he's had through both games. That's a 1.5 touchdown to 1 interception ratio. That's horrendous. And let's go down to the NFC East. Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy joked about never losing in Dallas during his entire career. Because obviously whenever the Packers went down there, Aaron just owns Jerry World. So they always won. So he's saying that hopefully he can continue the streak of not losing at Jerry World, which he did this game, but moving forward. And then the next thing is the Giants, Saquon Barkley put on his Insta not put on his Insta, but he deleted everything but a picture of Kobe on his Insta. So he's locked in. I'd be worried if I was anybody in the division for next season. And then the Eagles got booed, even though there's no fans in the stands, which I thought was hilarious. That it must suck to be a Bears fan. I'm not a Bears fan, Eagles fan right now. Also a Lions. I don't even know what I'm. I just want to shit on the Lions. But let's go to the Cowboys. Special teams clutched up with a onside kick late in the game. Weirdest onside kick I've seen. Eagles should have jumped on it, but they don't. They had a brain fart, I guess. Then Dak proves that he deserves a contract with at least this game he did. He had a 72.3 completion percentage, 450 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, and a 109.4 pass rating. The defense allowed Jared Goff, though, to finish with a 74.1% completion percentage. Oh no, that's Eagles. Never mind. And then next is I don't know get why McCarthy's betting so risky. If he wouldn't have won this game, he would have so much backlash because he went for 2, not 1, but 2 fake punts and both of them failed. So then I guess he got called boring in Green Bay, so he's overcompensating, which I don't understand. It's almost costing him games. It's probably going to cost him games in the future. And then next is the Giants. Running back Saquon Barkley is out for the season with a ACL injury, or he tore his ACL. Then next is they fall to 0-2 for the 4th consecutive season, which ain't good. The NFL is better when the Giants are good. I hated going against them in the playoffs. We always somehow lost to them, but when they're good, the NFL is just a better place. And then the one positive maybe from last game is that the defense got to Mitchell Trubisky 4 times or multiple times. They got to the QB multiple times. They got 4 sacks in total. And then next, let's go to the Eagles, where QB Carson Wentz didn't show up, just like Kirk Cousins, but it's not as bad. He had a 60.5 completion percentage, 242 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a 56.5 passer rating. In my opinion, I feel like Carson Wentz is trying to like overcompensate for his team, like he did last season. But last season he was playing with players that are probably like flipping. Not even probably majority of them aren't even on a team right, not even on a practice squad right now at this point. So, but he's gonna have to do it now because he has Deshaun Jackson and stuff. So he's just doing dumb throws. Then next, let's go to the Washington football team. Hate the name, not a fan of it. But second week they fell behind 17-0 to open the game. They all lucky against the Eagles, but they can't just do that against the Cardinals. Cardinals are just gonna run with the lead. They're gonna front run. And the next, Ron Rivera got another IV during halftime, which is just impressive that he's even doing that while still coaching, in my opinion. Pro Bowl guard Brandon Sheriff went down with a gruesome leg injury, which feels bad. Wish him a speedy recovery. Next, let's go to the NFC South. The Panthers have no chance, in my opinion, without Christian McCaffrey. So hopefully he gets back healthy, but sooner than later. Buccaneers signing Rob Gronkowski starting to look like a mistake. He just ain't the same player. He looks like a 40-year-old, not 40, but like a 70-year-old grandma out there. Next is Saints QB Drew Brees looks like his age is like Father Time's finally catching up to him, which it just Father Time's undefeated, so not everybody could be LeBron. Then next is the Panthers. Christian McCaffrey hurt ankle. He I think they say he's gonna be out like 4 to 6 weeks or something like that. He didn't play the last 13 minutes of the game. And then Teddy Bridgewater made too many costly interceptions, which doesn't help. They can't win if your quarterback's just throwing the ball to the other team. Another problem was that they dug a big hole at the beginning. They were down 0 to 21, 0 to 21, not 0 to 21 by the end of the first half. They almost came back, but with Christian McCaffrey getting hurt and stuff, they just didn't have a chance, especially with the Buccaneers having the best running game in the league. And then next is, so with them, their defense struggled to stop the Raiders on key downs. They went 10 of 7. The Raiders went 10 of 17 on third downs, which is really good for the Raiders, bad for the Saints. But the Raiders also went 2 for 2 on fourth downs converted, so they need to fix that. Too many penalties. They had 10 penalties last game against Raiders. That's insane. And then QB Drew Brees throws at lowest average yards 4.82 by any QB since Brett Favre in 2009, and that's when Brett Favre was basically washed up. Brett Favre 2 times. What are the odds? And then next is the Buccaneers, who interception woes continue. Tom Brady threw another one this game. Not as bad as last game, but he still threw one, which is worrisome. I think it was on I heard it was on like a Gronkowski pass, but I could be wrong. Bruce Arians jokes about blaming Tom Brady, so he's trying to overcompensate and make up for it, but it's just making him look like a clown, in my opinion. Tom Brady and already basically hit this. Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski still aren't on the same page, which I'd be worried if I was a Buccaneers fan. And then the final for the NFC South is the Falcons. Dan Quinn's seat is heating up real fast. bad special teams. Don't know why they let the ball get past the 10-yard line. They at the 7-yard line. They were just watching it go past. Little brain. First time somebody has lost with that many points and without any turnovers. That just Dan Quinn needs to be fired. Yes, he came on around at the end of last season, but ever since the Super Bowl, he just hasn't been the same. He needs to be like a defensive corner somewhere. And then next, let's go to the NFC West, where there are a ton of injuries riddled. I don't know if the Rams or the Cardinals have a lot, but I know that the Seahawks have a ton, and so do the 49ers, especially 49ers. Seahawks QB Russell Wilson has the second most regular season wins against Patriots head coach Bill Belichick. I think first is, I can't remember who first was, to be honest, but yeah, Russell Wilson. Oh yeah, let's next to the Seahawks. Oh no, what? I don't even know. The NFC. I already hit this point. The NFC West is the toughest division in the NFL. Then so let's go to the Seahawks now. By the way, I'm recording this at 11:32, so I'm exhausted at this point. So don't blame me. But Seahawks. Russell Wilson has another solid game. A 75.0 completion percentage, 288 yards, 5 touchdowns, an interception that was Greg Olson's fault, but he also threw it. It's a team sport, so it's interception. It's still Russell's fault too. But in that game, he finished with 132.4 passer rating. Obviously, at this point, already tons of injuries on the defense. Then let's go to the Rams. Jared Goff proves why he got picked first over Eagles QB Carson Wentz. I don't have Carson Wentz, but Jared Goff is still solid. They are back after being stuck in the basement after the Super Bowl, so that's good. They're looking good. Tyler Higbee can't be stopped. He had 5 receptions, 54 yards, average of 10.8 yards. Longest was 28, and then he had 3 touchdowns also. Just really solid by Higbee. The next is the 49ers. Nick Bosa and Solomon Thomas, likely, or not likely, but I was before I knew, but they tore their ACLs, which is oof. I know Nick Bosa did. I'm pretty sure Thomas did too. And next is Jimmy Garoppolo, high ankle sprain, so they're gonna have to watch out for that. He's probably gonna play, but hopefully he doesn't get injured more. Like I said, help the Packers, but you don't want to hope injuries on anybody. Next is the Cardinals. Kyler Murray on a path to being an A-tier QB. He's really solid. His stats don't show for it, but watching like the game, he looks really good. The Cardinals, especially in first place of the NFC West. And then Kyler Murray scored 2 rushing touchdowns last game. As you can tell, I don't watch much Cardinals game, so 2 of the things are about Kyler Murray, but that's how it be. Next, let's go to the AFC now. The Chiefs and Ravens are still far ahead of everyone else in the AFC. The AFC, in my opinion, has the best defensive teams. They got the Steelers, they got the Ravens, and they got the Patriots. The AFC division leaders are the Bills for the NFC East, Chiefs for the NFC West, Ravens for the NFC North, and Titans for the NFC South. Then let's go to not NFC, I meant AFC. My bad. But let's go to the AFC North. Possibly they could have like 3 teams in the playoffs. You got obviously the Ravens, the Steelers, but maybe this last game the Browns are back on track, or they were never really on track, but now they're on track. But who knows? The Steelers, in my opinion, have the best defense in the NFL, and I think maybe Baker Mayfield and Joe Burrow could be a new rivalry. I don't know. It depends if Baker Mayfield is going to be still with the Browns for long enough. Then let's go to the Ravens. Cornerback Tavon Young has ended a season ended with a left knee injury. Their offensive line still hasn't adjusted since the absence of Marshall Yonda, so that's worrisome. But they do have a top-notch defense. Next is the Browns. Browns have no plans to trade wide receiver Odell Beckham, even though reporters were saying that. They've came out and said that they haven't even been looking to trade him. The Browns, in my opinion, have proved that they have the best running back duo in the league, easily. And then QB Baker Mayfield showed that he is growing as a franchise QB. This last game he's really solid, but let's see if he keep it up till next week, or whatever. Then let's go to the Steelers. The pass rush showed up big with 7 sacks, 19 QB hits, and 13 tackles for loss against the Broncos. Linebacker TJ Watt is better than his brother JJ Watt, in my opinion. Might be a hot take, but it just in their prime, like in JJ Watt's prime, he's better in my opinion. But right now, TJ Watt's better. But the problem with Steelers is just like the Saints, they have too many penalties. They had 10 last game with which cost them 89 yards. And then next is the Bengals. Joe Burrow proves that he's worth the number 1 overall pick. In my opinion, he did really good. But their offensive line is a sack of potatoes. They're really bad. And their coach, don't know who he is, but he shouldn't be having Joe Burrow to throw the ball 61 times. That's just dumb. Then let's go to the AFC East. QB Josh Allen proves he is the second best quarterback in the 2018 draft. Obviously, the first is Lamar Jackson, but in my opinion, the next is Josh Allen. Might be a hot take. I don't know. Just in my opinion. The Patriots are still the strongest, or not so strong, but they're still really good. So all the Bills fans are happy. They might need a worry. And then Jets need to fire Adam Gase. He just ain't it, Chief. He's really bad. Patriots, James White, obviously, not obviously, but I'm guessing you guys have heard, but his parents got in a car crash, so he didn't play. His dad died, and I don't know if his mom survived, but I know that she was in serious condition. He got Robert Kraft, I think is his name. I think it's something like that. He offered to fly him back for him, like have a plane fly him back, but he said that he wanted to stay, so he didn't. I'm thinking, but he stayed in the team's hotel. And then QB Cam Newton is back. He had a 68.2 completion percentage, 397 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 94.6 rating. But I think he had 1 or 2 rushing touchdowns. He was really good. Probably the best passing wise I've seen him. Even during his MVP season, I feel like he's passing it better now. Next, also the Patriots are proving that they have the next man up mentality with, I think, tied for the most people opt out. They're still a top team. The next is the Dolphins. They can't produce any plays. Their longest run was 14 yards. And the longest pass was only 27 yards. They are more competitive than last year, though, which is good. But it's not saying much. Is the Dolphins. And then cornerback Xavier Howard isn't the same Pro Bowler like he was in 2018. I feel like all the knee issues have caught up with him. So that sucks. Next is the Jets. Adam Gase needs to be fired. He just does. I don't even know if he's even going to be hired to work through the ranks again. I feel like he's just going to be exiled from the NFL. For one of the examples is they were down 24-3 and they decided to kick a field goal within the 10-yard line. Dumb. The next is Jets are just worst team in the NFL. And Gase could be a big part. It could be just the roster, but maybe a mix of both. But they're just really bad. Next are the Bills. Josh Allen has proved that he worked on his deep ball during quarantine or the off season. His completion percentage for last game was 68.6, yards 417, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 147.0 rating. He did really good, but it was against the Dolphins, so I don't know. But it's still really, really good. Wide receiver Stephon Diggs had more yards that game than the Vikings passing offense in total produced past week. It's insane. And then, but one negative is with the absence of Matt Milano, I don't know how to say his name. The Dolphins tight end Mike Gesicki or something like that had an excellent day, which I'd be worrisome if I was the Bills. And then next, let's go to the AFC South. Texans are disappointing. Colts. Okay, let me go back a little bit. They're disappointing because they should have traded DeAndre Hopkins. They just haven't been the same. They're getting stomped. I get it, they play the top two teams, but okay, the Chiefs ones that they seemed competitive in, this one they seemed like they got blown out. I didn't watch the game because it wasn't available to me, like through my cable provider, but it just wasn't worth. It just didn't seem like work out. Colts defense bounces back, which is good after being destroyed by Gardner Minshew. And then next is Tannehill proves he's a franchise QB. Maybe not a top tier, but he could hold his own. So let's go to the Jaguars. Offense is actually shining right, or not right, or shining bright, whatever. Right now, they're doing really well. Special teams has made a lot of mistakes, so they need to fix that up. And surprisingly, the Jaguars, including me, I thought they were gonna be the worst team in the league. They're actually currently second in the AFC. In the AFC South. I get it's only like the start of week 3, but still surprising. The Colts are next. Their defense allowed the fewest yards since 2014. Like Colts wise, not like NFL wise, but like franchise wise. Oh, they only allowed 175. Philip Rivers' interceptions continue to stack up. He's had 3 interceptions so far this season in 2 weeks. That's 1.5 a week. That's not good. And Rodgers hasn't even thrown one. Well, I guess it's A-Rod. Safety Malik Hooker will miss the rest of the season. Really horrible news. I feel bad for him. But with an Achilles injury. Next, let's go to the Texans. They have a terrible run defense. They allow 230 rush yards. J.J. Watt rips into rookie Ross Blacklock for selfish ejection. I couldn't find the video anywhere, but that doesn't sound good. And then offensive line got destroyed by the Ravens' defensive line, which also isn't good. So that's worrisome. Then next is the Titans. Ryan Tannehill pops off. He had a 75% completion percentage, 239 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions with a 145.7 passer rating. This is the first 2-0 start for the Titans since 2008. I was 7 last time they started off 2-0. That's insane. Too many missed tackles is a problem that they're having, though. They allowed Jaguars' undrafted rookie to run for 102 yards and a touchdown. So they need to get that sorted. Let's go to the AFC West. New Chargers versus Chiefs rivalry, possibly. Chargers found their franchise QB from I forgot what his name was. Justin Herbert, straight out of Oregon, represent. He did really good. Are the Raiders back? I don't know. They seem like they are. And then, so that's next is the Broncos to start with. Drew Lock sprained his AC joint in his shoulder. He will miss 2 to 6 weeks. I feel bad for the Broncos. They're my dad's team. But injuries just happen. Top wide receiver Cortland Sutton tore his ACL and MCL, will be out for the rest of the season. Feels bad. He was a promising, I think it was a rookie. He was really promising, though. And then their terrible offensive line allowed 7 sacks, which also led to its injury. I feel really bad if I was like offensive line. I was the one that let the pass rusher get by me to hurt my quarterback. That's really bad. But let's go to the next of the Chiefs. Kicker Harrison Butker hit a 58-yard field goal, which ties the Kansas City Chiefs record, a franchise record. And then Chiefs just had zero defense. And when I was down, I didn't think about it, but now maybe it's also doesn't help that what is it? I keep forgetting his name. Maybe I should put some respect on his name. Flip. Oh, Justin Herbert just got told he was starting like a moment, like hours before the game, so they didn't have like film or anything. And he's from college, so they didn't even have any game film, but they can't even prepare or anything. So they're prepared for what's his nuts, but I guess, but they won, so that's something. And then next is the wait, where are we at? Oh yeah, Chiefs. Yeah, and Patrick Mahomes is still undefeated whenever he is down by 10 points or more, which is a crazy stat line. And everybody's saying that Patrick Mahomes is more talented than Aaron Rodgers. Bad take. Bad take. No. Next is the Raiders. Tight end Darren Waller proves he's a top-tier tight end. His story is incredible. I encourage you to look it up. I think he had like drug problems or something like that. So I feel bad for not feel bad. I feel good for him that he came back. And fun fact, he got invited to the Pro Bowl because Kelsey or something went to the Super Bowl, something like that. So he got to the Pro Bowl, but he didn't play because he had something injured. So somebody else got put in his spot. So he doesn't technically have a Pro Bowl appearance. But this game he averaged 12 receptions, 103 yards, 8.6 on average yards per catch. 18 yards was his longest and one touchdown. He was a big reason why the Raiders won. John Gruden came out and said that he has gotten COVID-19 before. So which I wonder why. I don't understand why he was keeping it a secret, but that's some news. Oh, hopefully I didn't mess up the audio with that flip. But next is Derek Carr proves all his doubters wrong. He had a 73.7 completion percentage, 282 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 120.7 rating, which is also really good. And then final note are the Chargers. Justin Herbert starts. Oh yeah, that's what his name is. Justin Herbert starts because Tyrod Taylor got injured before the game. Chargers will still start Tyrod if he is 100% next week, which I would just start Herbert. I feel bad. It's like I think like 2 or 3 years exactly to the day or whatever since he got replaced when he got hurt for Baker Mayfield and on the Browns. So I feel bad. But and then the final thing. That I was baffled that they punted in overtime, even though Chiefs' offense was literally on fire. Don't know why you'd punt, but yeah, that is the NFL Week 2 recap. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe and comment what your favorite NFL team is, and don't forget to share it around. Follow me on all the socials down below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.